Well, and Larry, could you answer just some basic questions? I feel like we go over this every time we talk about bankruptcy on LawCall, but could you just tell us explain some of the simple terms that we always hear of bankruptcy? For example, can you explain the most common types of bankruptcies that people file? We always hear about Chapter 7, Chapter 13. What's the difference and what do most people file?
Right.
The two basic bankruptcies that are available for individuals are Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Chapter 7 is what most people consider your straight bankruptcy. That's where basically you discharge unsecured debt such as medical bills and credit card payments, loan payments, payday loans. If you've had cars repossessed and you got deficiencies on them, you just discharge those debts, meaning you can wipe them out. But there are some issues that you have to look at, whether you own property. Can we protect all your property? Because you're only allowed to exempt or protect a certain amount of property from your creditors. It's $15,500 per person of equity in your home that you can protect. So we look at those issues. Chapter 13 is a debt consolidation bankruptcy, and that's more looking at consolidating your bills into an easy payment where you pay delinquent mortgage payments, catch those up to stop foreclosures. You restructure automobile payments if you're looking at a repossession. And then the 13, we can kind of restructure your unsecured debt to pay pennies on the dollar. So basically that's the difference. One, you discharge your debt in the 7, and 13, you kind of restructure your debt.
And so even with Chapter 13, even though you're consolidating the debt and you're getting on a payment schedule, you're still wiping out some of what you owe?
Right. You can pay pennies on the dollar on your unsecured debt, and we can restructure automobile payments under certain conditions. We can do what we call cram down on interest rates on automobiles in certain conditions. We can stretch out your mortgage arrears, your back mortgage payments over a longer period of time to stop a foreclosure. You know, get that down to one payment that will help people kind of reorganize and restructure their finances.
All right, and then when does your credit get back to normal? When do they not see that when they run a credit report on you if you file for bankruptcy?
It can stay on your credit for up to 10 years. There are things you can do to start rebuilding your credit once you file bankruptcy and get a discharge. Looking at making sure your credit report is reporting those debts correctly, showing that they're discharged in bankruptcy, as opposed to still showing that they're owed. Maybe getting a small secured credit card or a small limit credit card and starting to use that responsibly. There's things you can do to start rebuilding after the bankruptcy, even though it will still appear on your credit report.
Gotcha. Well, Larry, thank you so much for your time. If you have any additional questions for Attorney Larry Edge, you can reach him there at the number on your screen, 251-635-9455. Larry, thank you so much for being with us this evening to answer questions about dealing with debt. We certainly appreciate your time.
Oh, well, thank y'all for having me.
All right, we'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.